Increase your Tacoma's visibility out on the road or trail with the Raxium 48-inch LED tailgate bar. This is a huge LED light bar that plugs and plays with any year or generation of Tacoma, and this setup will give your truck a distinct look and make it more visible in all conditions. Perhaps the most important feature of the Raxium tailgate light bar is its size. Coming in at a huge 48 inches in length, it is designed to fit perfectly in the valley below the bottom of your tailgate and will cover pretty much the entire width of the truck. And despite the length and the output, this thing is pretty thin, so when the lights aren't on, you'd be hard-pressed to even notice that it's installed on the truck. However, once it's lit, nobody will be able to miss this one. Now the LEDs inside are going to light up 2 different colors at several different brightness levels, and they're going to function as supplemental running lights and brake lights, lighting up in red when you switch on your lights or hit the brakes. This will also function as a turn signal repeater, so if you signal or switch on your hazard lights, the LEDs inside will light up in a sequential pattern from the center out to the outer edge to give you a better chance of being seen. And when you put the truck in reverse, the center section right here will switch to a bright white light, so you'll be able to see a bit better when reversing, and no one will be able to miss your truck no matter how dark it is. Now this one also has a unique strobe light effect and a dynamic startup sequence, which is not something we see on many other light bars. It just adds that little extra bit of flair. Now this all works seamlessly thanks to the integrated 4-pin harness that plugs right into your truck's trailer hookup on the back bumper. It makes for a pretty simple installation, and Raxium has integrated the proper types of resistors and fuses inside, so you don't have to do much wiring and you don't get any error messages on your dashboard. The lens is made from tinted polycarbonate, just like you'd find on automotive lenses, and you're going to find an ABS plastic backing on it too. This is IP69K waterproof rated to help protect the electronics, and inside again you're going to find those high-powered LEDs that are the source of the bright output, and pretty much all of the wiring is done for you right out of the box, and hey, it's even got sheathing on it. So this minimizes the time and complexity of the installation process. Pricing comes in at about $225, and that does position this as a more premium option in the segment. But if you value the look, the safety, and the additional functions that this one has, especially as compared to other lights in the category, it's worth the cost. Installation gets a 1 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and the job should take you less than an hour to complete. The light bar itself is going to mount using the 3M double-sided tape that's included in the kit, so this is pretty much a peel and stick operation. And while most of the functions are going to only require you to just plug this in, you are going to have to run this one signal wire in order to get the reverse light function working properly. However, Raxium does include a couple of Scotch lock connectors, and this is just one simple wire. So even if you've never done wiring before, this is quite easy. We're also going to show you the process right now, so for that, let's head on out to the shop.
Tools required for this install include a ratchet, needle nose pliers, wire strippers and crimpers, a test light, an alcohol prep pad, 10mm socket, T-tap, and a male spade. What's up guys? Today we're installing a tailgate LED strip on our Tacoma, so let's get started. The first thing we need to do is pop out our tail light so that we can wire our one wire into our reverse light. Grab a 10mm socket. We're removing these 2 bolts. And then just pull straight back on your tail light, and then press in on the tabs to disconnect your 3 connectors. So now we're ready to prep our light strip to go onto the truck. I've got an alcohol prep pad here that I'm going to wipe this surface down with, and then we have 4 strips of double-sided tape we're going to be adding. Now on the Tacomas, the placement of the tape doesn't really matter. You don't have too many things you're working around, but we do have a hole right in the middle, so we're just going to stay away from the center point. So now take your alcohol wipe and just give the surface a good wipe down, and then we'll just give it a minute to dry up before we put our double-sided tape down. So now I'm going to get a strip on either side about 1 inch back from this little end cap, and then if you flip this over, you do have a center mark, so that's where we want to stay away from. So I'm probably going to put the other strips right around here. Peel your double-sided tape, just lay that down. And now we're ready to stick this onto the truck. So now we're ready to get our light bar mounted up. Now we need this connector to come to our trailer plug here. And we don't really have a lot of room here in the bumper, so I'm gonna run it in from the side here. Now we want, obviously, the tailgate bar above the bumper as well as this connector. So I'm gonna go in from the side here, just like that. And then I'm gonna do the same thing with this connector. I'm just gonna drop that connector down. And then you can start peeling back your double-sided tape and stick this down. Now we have this little lip here that this can sit flat against. And then we've got a little gap here that it'll fit in. So that's where you want to stick it down to. So now peel back all your double-sided tape backing. And then we're just gonna line this up and stick it down. Now with that in place, we can take our connector. I'm gonna pull this white wire that needs to go to our taillights out for now. And then you're just gonna open up this port and plug it in. And then run your wire up, tuck it down behind your bumper. And I'm gonna take this white wire and go underneath this wire. Pull that over to our taillight bucket and we'll get over there next. So now with our white wire dropped through this gap, I've got it underneath the truck now. We've got a hole in the bottom of our taillight bucket. So we can just reach up, put it through that hole. And now we just gotta grab a test light. I'm gonna put the truck into accessory and put it in reverse. And we're just gonna probe inside all of our connectors until we find the one that lights up, and that'll tell us where our reverse power is. We can tap into that wire and we'll be good to go on our light bar. So now I've got the truck in reverse here. I've got the ground side of my test light connected up to the bolt on the leaf spring underneath the truck. I couldn't get a good ground on any of these. So now just probe inside all your connectors until the light inside the test light lights up, and then we'll splice into that wire. Not that connector, not that connector. Now my light's lit up there on this red wire here. So we're gonna have to tap into this wire so that we can connect this wire into it. So now I went ahead and shut off the truck and took it out of reverse so we don't have any power going to this wire while we're splicing into it. So you can do this however you'd like. The way I'm gonna do it is with using a T-tap and a male spade connector. Now I've got this little metal fork that's gonna wrap around the wire, and then once you close this up, it's gonna cut into the wire to make a connection, and then we'll put this T-tap onto our white wire, and you can connect them together just like that to make your connection. So now I'm gonna get that red wire in the middle of those forks, and then close up my connector, and then just grab a pair of pliers, just crimp down on it. And then I'm gonna get my white wire. I'm gonna cut a good bit off of this. You wanna leave a little bit of excess just for maneuvering this around when you're plugging in the taillight, but you don't want enough to where it's hanging under the truck and get caught on things. So I'm gonna make my cut right around here. And I'll take wire strippers, strip back some lead on that wire. Then grab your male spade connector, slide that wire inside, and then grab wire crimpers, crimp that down. And then just give your connector a tug, make sure it's on there real good. And then you can plug it in to that T-tap, and we can reinstall our taillight. And now we just need to reinstall our taillight and wrap this up. Just plug in your 3 connectors. Line up your taillight, push it into place, and then reinstall your 2 bolts and tighten them down with a 10mm socket. So that'll wrap up this review and install of the Raxium 48-inch LED tailgate bar. Thank you for watching. For all things Tacoma, keep it right here at extremeterrain.com.